afternoon, everybody. Today we will be solving one problem related to stick free, to be particular, stick force. We have seen so many expressions in stick force, and there is every possible reason to get disinterested. These expressions do not look good. Right? The best way to handle this sort of a situation is to solve a problem. Right? So we will be solving a problem primarily on stick force. Before we come to stick force, let us revise few things so that we can conveniently use some problem numbers and get something useful. Okay? You could see that the problem is given. Let me read the problem first. To consider the following airplane tested in a wind tunnel. What is given is weight of the airplane is 700 kg. Then aspect ratio of the wing is 6. Span of the wing is 6 meter. Wing setting angle IW is 0. IT is 2 degree. Tail setting angle is plus 2 degree, right? Note this. And also some aerodynamic characteristics, that is CL alpha of the wing 2-dimensional, 2D, and CL alpha tail 2D is 0.1 per degree. Please understand this is 2D, so we have to convert this into 3D. Okay? Then tail moment arm LT is given as 6.5 meter. What was LT? LT was the distance between AC of the tail and CG of the airplane. And this delta E naught is 3 degree, tau is 0.4, and d epsilon by d alpha 0.5, nt is 0.9. What was delta E naught? Please remember, when I say delta E naught is 3 degree, and delta E equal to delta E naught plus d delta E by dCl into CL trim. And you know delta E naught was given as minus Cm naught by Cm delta E. Right? And if I know the value of Cm delta E, if I know the value of Cm naught, I know what is the value of delta E naught. In this problem, delta E naught is given as 3 degree. You could see the sign will be positive because Cm delta E is negative, Cm naught is positive. So positive, negative, negative, positive, negative into negative, positive. So this is 3 degree. This also tells you that Cm delta E is also per degree, not per radian, per degree. That is why 3 degree here. This I must understand. Okay, so that is on delta E naught, and tau is 0.4. You understand what was tau. If I write tau is 0.4, I understand tau means d alpha t by d delta E. What was the meaning of this d alpha t by d delta E, which is nothing but tau? We interpreted this like per unit deflection of elevator, how much the tail angle is changing, right? And you know, this can be evaluated or estimated by empirically. This is tau, this is AC by ST, and it will be something like this. Maximum value will be 0.8 to 1. Let's say practically 0.8. And typical value lies between 0.4 to 0.5 or 0.6 sometimes. So that one can find out empirically if I know what is the elevator area and what is the tail area. So for this problem, this all exercise has been done, and you are given tau as 0.4. Now comes d epsilon by d alpha. When you say d epsilon by d alpha 0.5, you know that this epsilon downwash at tail because of wing. Right? It can be expressed as epsilon naught plus d epsilon by d alpha into alpha wing, and this d epsilon by d alpha, which is 0.5, is this value, which is pretty high, right? You also see that d epsilon by d alpha is given as 0.5, and we know by now that there is a wing. Because of wing, there is a downwash at tail. That is important, and that can be expressed as epsilon equal to epsilon naught plus d epsilon by d alpha into alpha wing, because this is the downwash at tail. Who has caused this downwash? Because of the wing. Where from it has come? Because wing. Because the pressure difference, there is a lift, and those vortices have caused the downwash at tail, and this d epsilon by d alpha is 0.5. You know about epsilon naught. If it is a cambered aerofoil wing, the epsilon naught will be non-zero. For symmetric, it will be 0. Right? These things we understand. We also would like to know what are the other information given so that we get a correct feel of the problem. Now, if I come here, you could see here the G. So I'm coming toward the domain of stick force. G was the gearing constant. And if you recall the expression of stick force, which was given as, it's difficult to remember, if you see stick force, we derive the expression as K into half rho V square, then A plus CH delta T into delta T minus K into W by S CH delta E by Cm delta E into dCm by dCl free. Please do not get bothered if by mistake I have written some wrong expression, somewhere error. You are supposed to correct it, okay? I'm just telling you how to handle and how to understand a problem, okay? The expressions already you have and you should cross-check. Now see, what was G here? G is hiding where in this expression? If you remember, the K was given as minus G AC CE neta T. What was G? G is the gearing constant, and that is exactly the G we're talking about, 1.5 radian per meter. Radian per meter, okay? So that is G. What was AC? AC is the elevated area. What is CE is the elevator chord, and neta T, you know, the ratio of dynamic pressure at tail to free stream dynamic pressure. So we understand what is G. What is CH delta E and CH alpha? See, CH delta E, if I recall, that you know, we are assuming that the elevator is free to rotate because of alpha T. There is alpha T. And if this is the hinge line, then there will be a pressure distribution over the elevator, and if center of pressure is behind the hinge line, then this will try to float the elevator up. That is the effect of CH alpha T, right? CH alpha T. But what CH delta E will do? As it goes up, it generates a force towards down, so it tries to resist. So CH delta is restoring hinge moment. CH alpha T is the floating. We try to float, a floating hinge moment, or try to float the elevator. So those values are negative because hinge line is ahead of the resultant center of pressure. So CH alpha T and CH delta E values are minus 0.007 per degree. This is minus 0.005 per degree. Suppose this is given, and also of course I think somewhere CH delta T is also given. This is the tab. What is CH delta T? Let's also understand CH delta T. It is always a good idea whenever a problem is given during training period, every parameter number you see, you ask what is this? Okay, what should be its sign? What should be its magnitude? Why and what are the influence it could cause, or how it can influence the whole airplane? Right? If you start doing like this, you will develop the feel for this number and you will do justice to this subject. So let us see what is CH delta T. What is delta T? Delta T is the tab. This is a trim tab, longitudinal case. So what is the trim tab? We'll ask ourselves. Remember, if this man elevator has to be deflected like this, then if the pilot has to pull the stick and hold it, so that will be very tiring. So there is another portion which goes down as it goes up, and this is the tab. You can set this tab, and this will give the moment to hold this whole elevator at this angle, so that the stick force applied by the pilot will be 0. And that is in a stick-free case, we say neutrally stable. Okay? So we understand CH delta T. We also understand what should be its sign. We define delta T positive, like elevator. This is delta T positive. So delta T positive will give a force in this direction that will give a nose down moment. So its sign, CH delta T sign, should be also negative, because for a positive delta T, it is giving a nose down moment. So Ch delta T sign should be less than 0. Anything left here to understand? Okay, number wise is okay. Now come back to this diagram. This is also part of the problem. Okay, let me keep this. This will be using. See what is given in this diagram. It is written Cm Cg y-axis. Why Cm Cg? We all understand the pitching moment is all calculated about the center of gravity because the airplane in free space will rotate about an axis passing through center of gravity. So this is the longitudinal motion. So this is Cm about the Cg of the airplane. And what is here? This is the Cl. So the Cl. Now, what are these two things, two lines? One is fixed elevator, that is stick fixed case, this line, and there is free elevator. Why their slope has changed? You know that most of the airplane, the elevator will float like this, right? So in a way, at equilibrium, the shape is like this, opposite of a camber. So there is a reduction in the tail lift. So Cm alpha or stability added by the tail will reduce. Hence dCm by dCl for a free elevator, the slope will be less compared to stick fixed case. Now they have given some number also. If I want to know what is dCm by dCl fixed from this diagram. Fixed means elevator fixed, stick fixed, all are same thing. So this is Cm given, this is Cl given. This is the fixed elevator case, this one, or what we call stick fixed. dCm by dCl will be slope. This is y by x, that is 0.05 by minus here, I put 0.8 minus 0.3, so this will be minus 0.1. The slope of this line, right? This is basically 0.5 and this is 0.05. So 0.05 by 0.5 with the minus sign because more than is the slope of this line is negative. So this is minus 0.1. So I get dCm by dCl fixed, elevator fixed, stick fixed is minus 0.1. So what is the interpretation for this? That means it has a static stability margin of 10% because I know dCm by dCl I can approximately write as minus static margin, or this is minus of xcg, minus of neutral points minus xcg. Correct? So dCm by dCl fixed is minus 0.1 means dCm by dCl is nothing but minus static margin. So static margin is 10%. 10% of what? 10% of the chord. That means the distance between stick fixed neutral point and CG is 10% of the mean aerodynamic chord. As simple as that. Now if you were to do same exercise, say dCm by dCl free, if I want to find out, then what is the value? So dCm by dCl free. So which graph I should see? This is fixed, this is free. So again here you see the distance is 0.3 and 1, so it is 0.7, and this is 0.05. So this will be minus 0.05 by 0.7, and this value is typically minus 0.0714. Please, you yourself should do this calculation. Don't assume that I am doing it correct. I will be telling you the process correctly, numerical things that you have to do yourself so that you get correct number. So now if I compare dCm by dCl free and dCm by dCl fixed, I find, yes, dCm by dCl fixed has a larger negative slope, and that is why we say naturally dCm by dCl fixed should be a more stable configuration than dCm by dCl free. Why? Because in dCm by dCl free calculation, we have allowed the elevator to float, and that becomes the equilibrium. Okay? Correct? So these are the interpretation of these numbers. Now we'll do the problem. Let me state problem one by one and then calculate. First question. Find stick fixed and stick free neutral point. You see, After studying the problem, getting the interpretation of the number, how simple is this problem? You know that DCM by DCL is nothing but minus static margin, which is nothing but XCG bar minus N naught bar, because static margin is N naught minus XCG bar, so minus sign I have absorbed like this. What was DCM by DCL fixed? We just now calculated it was minus 0.1. This is equal to XCG is how much given? Yeah, XCG has to be given. So XCG is given as, for this problem, you take XCG equal to 0.3 or XCG bar equal to 0.3. So this is 0.3, so I write 0.3 minus N naught bar. So this tells me stick fixed neutral point is equal to 0.4. As simple as that. Now if I ask you what is N naught prime, how will you find out? As simple as that. You know, DCM by DCL free should be equal to XCG bar minus N naught prime. This is the stick free neutral point. This value you know as minus 0.07 something. We just now did it. XCG you know 0.3. So N naught prime will be simply by solving this. And you are supposed to get N naught prime if I have not done any mistake. And I should tell you that repeatedly. Please don't blame me. So I'll add something that they are approximately 0.37 upon 4, something like this. You should yourself do it. Okay? So this is the first question we solved on stick fixed and stick free.